Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jessica. Subscribe to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be doing something that one of you awesome subscribers requested, and that is an affordable look that you can wear to school. So all the products that I used in this video are drugstore and they are very affordable. Some of them are great products, some of them, of which you will see later, are not that good and I recommend that you don't buy. But all in all, this is the final look that I came up with. I think it's really cute, it's fresh, it's very wearable, and it's actually quite fast. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the tutorial. I'm going to start off by doing my eyebrows first, and for that I'm going to be taking the NYX Cosmetics Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Black. So the pencil has a spoolie on one side and then the actual product on the other side, and I'm just going to take the spoolie first and just go through my brows, and then I'm just going to lightly fill them in, just following the natural shape of my brows, doing hair-like strokes. Then just brushing it through, then repeating the same thing to the other eyebrow. Just really more or less filling in the areas that really need to be filled in. I'm not trying to get a super defined brow, just more so trying to shape them, not so much get them like really sharp. Since this tail end of my brow is a little bit longer, I'm going to just extend this one out to get the same effect on both sides. So that's pretty much that step of the brows done. But before I set them in place, I want to go ahead and do my foundation as well as my concealer and my powders. Just because I feel that if I were to do this and then do that step, I feel like the powder is going to stick onto the gel, so I want to make sure that I do this after I'm done with my powder. So for foundation, I'm going to be taking the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I use the shade 128. I love this foundation. This is my favorite drugstore foundation. I think it works really well and they have a good shade range, so I'm able to find a color match for me. And then on my damp beauty sponge, this is the Real Techniques complexion sponge. I'm just going to stipple this onto my face, and make sure that whenever you're applying your foundation, you bring that down underneath your chin and then drag it down to your neck. Now that we're done with foundation, I'm going to go ahead and move on to concealer. My favorite drugstore concealer is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 20. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of that under my eyes. I'm just going to dot it and then blend it out with the beauty sponge. I'm also going to take some of this concealer and apply it to my eyelids as an eyeshadow primer. Now that I went ahead and applied my concealer, I'm going to set everything in place with my Coty Airspun Loose Setting Powder. I use this shade Naturally Neutral. I know they have various shades, but this is just personally the one that I like. So I'm going to take some on an e.l.f. blush brush. This is a really good translucent powder. It works very well, and you also get a lot of it for the price. So that's why I recommend it. It's really good. And it also, some people might not like the smell, but I personally don't mind it. I quite like the smell. It kind of smells like a little florally, a little bit like old lady makeup, but I like it. I don't really mind it. That's just me. Now on a bigger brush, I'm going to just take some and apply this to the rest of my face just to set everything in place, so whenever we go in with blush and contour, everything will blend out very nicely. To warm up the skin, I'm going to go into the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Mine, I took off the packaging because I thought it was a little bit bulky, but this is not what it looks like. I will show a picture right here of what the product actually looks like when it's in its normal packaging. So I'm just going to take this on my Morphe M530 and just apply this on my cheeks, just to give it a little bit of color. I don't want to do too much, I just want to bring the skin a little bit more dimension. So I'm just going to apply this to the temples, the cheeks, underneath the lip, and a little bit on the bridge of the nose. Next, I'm going to go in with my blush, and for that I'm going to be taking the Milani Luminoso blush. This one's really pretty, and it also has a little bit of shimmer in it, so it gives your cheeks a little bit of a glow, which is always nice. So I'm going to just apply this to the cheeks with my e.l.f. stippling brush. And then for highlight, I'm going to be taking this Wet n Wild Precious Petals highlight. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera or not, but it is so beautiful. So I'm going to take some of that and apply it onto my cheekbones with my Morphe M501 brush. Look at how luminous that is. That is so pretty. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. I hope you can. That's so pretty. And it was really, really affordable too. Then I'm also going to take a little bit and put it on the bridge of my nose, and then on the tip of my nose, So that's pretty much it for the face. Once I'm done with my eyes, I'm going to go ahead and set my brows. I know that I said I was going to do that after powder, but I think it'd be best if I do it after I'm done with the eyes. I'm going to take my beauty sponge and I'm just going to buff away any of this creasing that we have going on from our concealer. And then I'm going to set my eyes with the same Coty Airspun powder that we used to set the face. Then for the eyes, I'm going to be taking this Wet n Wild palette. This is the Rose in the Air palette, and I think the shades in here are really pretty. It has 10 eyeshadows in here, a good combination of like warm colors as well as like these two really pretty like rosy colors. I haven't really swatched these eyeshadows yet, so I'm not sure how pigmented they are or how well they work, but this is going to be first impressions because I'm going to be trying it on camera for the first time. So I'm going to take this transition here. It has two transition shades, the cooler one and the warmer one. I think the cooler one might work as like a contour, I'm not sure. But I'm going to go into the warmer one on my Sigma E35, I believe is what this brush is. I'm not really sure, but from picking it up, it has a lot of pigment and it has a little bit of fallout in the pan whenever I dipped into it. So let's see how they blend onto the eye. So I'm going to just tap off any excess. I'm just going to apply this to the crease. Wow, this is super pigmented. Okay, Wet n Wild is not playing games. I'm very impressed by the first eyeshadow that I just picked up. So I'm just going to take this and apply it in windshield wiper motions across the entire crease just to give like a wash of color, and then bringing it into the inner corner and just really giving like an entire wash of this shade onto the entire eye. So just diffusing all the edges, moving in circular motions as well as windshield wiper motions. Alrighty, so that's that shade laid down. I actually really like that shade. So I'm going to dip into it again and apply it to the other eye. So doing the same thing, first depositing all the product off my brush and onto my skin using windshield wiper motions. Then once I feel like I have all that product off of my brush and onto my skin, I'm going to do circular motions. I'm honestly very impressed by this first shadow that I just went in with. It's super pigmented, it blends very nicely, and it's bomb. And this palette was only like $4 something, so like $5 for 10 eyeshadows. I don't think that's bad at all. And it's really compact and cute, so you can bring it with you pretty much anywhere. So I like that. Alrighty, so I think to add just a tiny bit of depth, I'm gonna go into this shade right here at the top. Just grabbing very little because it does pick up quite a bit of product. And then I'm just gonna pop that onto the outer corner with pushing motions. And yep, that color is also very pigmented. Wow, I love this. The best $5 I've ever spent on an eyeshadow. I mean, I know I've only used 2 shades, but still, I'm very impressed. I think they did a perfect job at deepening up the outer corner just a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that to the other eye. Dipping into it once, tapping off any excess, tapping that onto the outer corner, and then just going into circular motions. And blending that in. I've also noticed that I have not gotten any fallout at all from those eyeshadows, which is good. You don't even need a lot, to be honest. A little bit goes a very long way. These eyeshadows are very pigmented and they blend out very well, so that is awesome. A+. Now on a flat shader brush, I'm going to go into this shade right here and apply that to my brow bone just to give a bit of highlight. So one thing that I noticed is that whenever you tap into it, there is a lot of kick up. They're very powdery, but as long as they work, I think that's fine. And yes, very pigmented. And I also really need to pluck my eyebrows. So now that we have that laid down, I'm going to switch back over to my blending brush and just go over those edges lightly. Okay, now for the lid shade. You could go about this 2 ways. You could either do a matte on the lid or a shimmer on the lid. But since we've been pretty much playing with mattes, I'm going to go into the shimmer. I'm going to go in with the same brush. So I'm going to go into this shimmer shade right here. And I'm going to apply this to the lid and see how it works. And it's pigmented, you guys. Wet n Wild did that. My opinion is always with like eyeshadows that are shimmery. Brushes do an okay job at applying shimmer. I believe that whenever you apply it with your fingers, you always get the best application. But it's not doing a bad job with the brush. It's just giving like a nice sheen of like shimmer. So what I'm going to do with this eye is apply it using my finger to see if the pigmentation is any different. So I'm going to take that and apply it to the lid. So there's a very small difference between when I applied it with the brush and when I applied it with my finger. I didn't see anything major, not very drastic, so I'd say apply it either way. I'm going to just pat the other eye with my finger just so that they're even, and then I'm going to go back into my fluffy brush and just blend out any of those edges. And that to me is the eye pretty much done. A very nice wash of color just to give your eyes a bit of definition, a little bit of shimmer to catch the light. I'm going to go ahead and apply that same shimmer to the inner corner just to give the eye a bit of a pop. I could even go in with the highlight and apply that to the inner corner instead because this one is a bit more on the sparklier side. So now I'm going to take this e.l.f. pencil brush and I'm going to go into the transition shade that we used in the crease and apply some of this to the lower lash line. This eyeshadow is really pretty. I really like the tone of it. So this is going to be the only color that we used on the lower lash line. Just make sure that you blend it out very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other eye. To help define my eye a little bit more, I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is the dark brown in the palette, on a flat angled brush. I'm just going to dip into this, tap off any of that excess, and I'm just going to apply this as if it were some liner on my lash line just to help define my eyes a little bit more. So pretty much just dragging this out as if it were a liner. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see, but this eye to me looks a little bit more defined than this one does. So I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing that I did on this eye to this eye. So now that I went ahead and defined my eyes, I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes and apply some mascara. Okay, so I went ahead and applied some mascara. Now my lashes are really small and you can't really see them whenever I have mascara. You can't really tell the difference if I'm wearing mascara or not. So I personally like to use lashes. Now you don't have to use eyelashes to go to school. I mean, it's totally up to you. You know, if you like to wear a lash, wear a lash. If you don't, then don't. But I'm gonna give you guys my recommendation of what I think is the perfect natural lash, and that is the Ardell Wispies. This is what they look like, and I think that they're absolutely beautiful and very natural looking lashes. These are my favorite go-to natural lash, and I think that they're great for beginners because it has like an invisible band where it's very flexible and you can't really see it if you don't have any eyeliner on. So I think that these are great. I've been wearing lashes for so long, you guys, that I feel like I can't go without a lash. So that's why I'm gonna apply lashes, but you totally don't have to. So I just applied a very thin amount of glue onto my lash. And the glue that I use is the Duo Brush On Adhesive. It is my favorite. It does not have a scent. And I also like that it has a little brush so that it makes applying the glue to the eyelash band so much easier, as you guys can see. So I'm gonna just let it get tacky, maybe like wait 30 seconds, and then we're gonna pop these on. So now that my lashes are nice and tacky, I'm gonna take some tweezers and I'm going to hold the lash, and then with a little mirror, I'm going to look down into my mirror, holding it like about right here. Yeah, about this angle. So maybe if I turn, that way you guys can see the angle a little bit better. So I'm just gonna hold it down like this. I'm gonna rest the lashes as close as I can to my lash line. And being very careful that you don't poke yourself with the tweezers. You're just gonna pop those on. And then with my fingers, I just like to push them onto my skin. Because you don't wanna get the lashes on your actual lashes. You wanna get your lashes onto your skin. Because then if you get your fake lashes onto your real lashes, when you go to take your fake lash off, your real lashes are gonna come off with it. So you have to be quite careful, and this of course takes lots of practice. I've been applying lashes for a very long time now and I still mess up sometimes, so don't get discouraged if you're not the best at applying lashes. Just practice, and it will get a lot easier. Alrighty, so the lashes are now on, so now I'm going to go ahead and apply some mascara to my lower lashes. For that, I'm going to be taking the e.l.f. 3-in-1 mascara. I got the shade Very Black. I haven't tried this mascara before, so let's see how it works. This is what the wand looks like. It's very interesting. So I'm just going to take this, maybe with the little ball part. I'm just going to apply this to the lower lashes. It definitely coats all the lashes very evenly, and it is making them quite long, but they aren't very thick. They're just very thin. So now that I've applied my mascara, I'm going to go ahead and take my brow pencil, and with the spoolie, I'm just going to spoolie through my brows to brush out any product like powder before I set them in place with my brow gel. The brow gel that I'm going to be using is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this. It looks like this, and I'm just going to set my brows in place. This will make sure that your brows stay in place, and it will also give them a little bit of a fuller appearance. Alrighty, and now for the lips, I'm going to go in with my EOS lip balm first. I'm just going to apply this. So now that I've applied my lip balm, I'm going to go in with the NYX lip liner. This is in the shade Ever, and then I'm just going to line my lips with this. And then I also filled in my lips with that. I just like to use a lip balm and a lip pencil for everyday wear on my lips because I need the hydration of a lip balm, but I also like a little bit of tint from the lip liner. And lip liners are really slim, so I can carry them in my bag or in my backpack. And then lip balms, this one's a little bit bulky, but they do have obviously less bulky lip balms that you can use. So that is pretty much it. I will say I never tried this mascara before. This was my first time trying it, and I don't recommend it because it's sticking to my top lashes. Every time I blink, it like sticks to the top lashes. So don't try this. Then lastly, to set it all in place, we're gonna go in with the Milani Make It Last Setting Spray, and we're just gonna apply this. So once you're done with that, you're pretty much done with the entire look. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Turn on the bell notification to be notified every time I upload a new video. If you have any suggestions for videos that you would like to see here on my channel, please leave them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Before you say anything, yes, I am in my pajamas. And I'm not gonna change. I'm gonna stay in my pajamas because I love my pajamas and I don't want to take them off.